Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I am going to be working on my tag ring that I'm creating to go along with the devotional heart check from Illustrated Faith. And today I'm in part 3, where we are looking at Mary and how she got distracted. And in being distracted, she lost Jesus. So this one hit home a lot. So I'm excited. I already did my note taking and things like that. And then I'm excited to go ahead and create some tags to go along with it. So I will link everything that I end up using down below. Otherwise, I'm going to put you guys on fast forward. Let's go. The first thing that I want to do is put each of these tags on some paper. I'm using the Let's Get Crafty line designed by Kelly Bangs for simple stories. I love this line. It goes perfectly with Heart Check because, of course, Kelly Bangs also did the illustrations for Heart Check. So they go together just so well. And I'm going to mat each of these tags on one of her papers. And the point of that is I want the tags to be double-sided. These are double-sided papers, so I get a little more splash of color on the front and then color on the back that will serve as the base for what I'm adding to the tags. So each of the tags has a Bible verse or two on it. This week, like I said, we are focusing on Mary, and we're specifically focusing on the story of when she and Joseph lost Jesus. They were in Jerusalem for a ceremony, were leaving, and they traveled a whole day before they realized that they had lost their son or had left their son behind. And I love how the author points us to the fact that we all at times have a tendency to get distracted and to kind of lose focus or lose Jesus in our life. And not to say that we lose him completely, but certainly our attention gets pointed elsewhere, and then we forget what the focus of our lives should be. As someone that tends to have a million balls in the air at one time, lots going on, I definitely understand how easy it can be to be distracted and to think that the busyness is the purpose of our lives when that is certainly not the case. All right, I took the tags over to my sewing machine and I added a sewn border around the edge. Kind of hard to see on camera, but you can definitely see it in person. I love adding texture and dimension to projects like this. I'm so excited to see the finished tag ring and to see it be thick and chunky, and I really enjoy interactive elements. And so that's why you're going to see on several of these tags, I'm going to create a pocket of sort. First, I'm cutting down this little prescription card, and then I'm going to put adhesive on 3 sides of the lower part of this particular tag. I'm going to cut it out. The verse on the front of this tag is from 1 Corinthians, and it says, "You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons too. You cannot have a part in both the Lord's table and the table of demons." And that's just a reminder that our focus needs to be only in one place. And so I've been using these prescription cards to take some just general notes on the devotional. Of course, I did most of my notes in the actual booklet, and this is just going to be kind of a summary of what part 3 was about. So that's what's going to go in the back of there. Now, this one is going to also have a tag in it, and that's going to be a summary of my thoughts. So again, I took a lot of notes. Then that's what I do with most Bible journaling. Take your notes, do your study, and then pick one thing that you want to highlight and reflect on further. And that's really the point of Bible study. The art part is not where the deeper studying happens. It allows you to pick out 1 or 2 key points that you are going to reflect on in the time that your hands are working on the art section. This particular part I am prepping for a beloved society girl. I've been picking one of these for each section, and this one will of course be Mary. Not to say that it definitely looks like Mary, it's just a beloved society girl that represents Mary. And I think the point of this devotional is to see all of these biblical women in all of us. They have traits that we also have, good and bad. And so I think that's really the connection that Amy is wanting you to make in this particular devotional. So got my beloved society girl, got my thread all knotted up. That is another kind of commonality that's happening in each of the tags. When you're doing a mini album or a tag project, something like this, you want a few elements that are going to occur over and over, and that really brings the whole project together. On the front of this one, I'm just going to attach a few little notes, and this one is just a reminder, where are you drawing your energy from, yourself or the Lord? And that's something that I need to like write on my mirror every day and just be reminded that my energy and my purpose comes from Him and not from all the things of this world, not from my to-do list, not from the caffeine in my coffee. It's definitely coming from God. On this particular day, I was definitely like hopping around between my tags. All 4 tags have to do with the same devotion, but I kept jumping around in between each of them. So here I'm just reflecting on the notes I have from this particular devotional and some of the things that I underlined, and I want to write some of those down on this prescription card. And what I ended up writing down says, we often allow the spiritual area of our lives to go unkempt due to the daily demands of life. And that comes directly from the devotional. And then I added, Jesus doesn't need the house to be perfect. He just doesn't want to get lost in the shuffle. And I think a lot of times I fall prey to just wanting everything to be perfect, to run smoothly, to look great on the surface. And that is not really where Jesus is calling us. He wants Himself to be the focus, and then everything else will fall into place as it needs to. For this particular pocket, I'm going to add this typewriter to the front that is typing up prescriptions. We'll put a little bit of washi tape here at the bottom. This ruler washi tape did come from Illustrated Faith. It comes in a lot of different colors, I think 4 different colors, so be sure to check out their website. I will link things down below. Those are all Illustrated Faith links for most of these items. So again, we'll add some of the thread because that's the commonality, and then I did pop up that typewriter on some foam double-sided tape just to give it a little extra dimension and to make sure things, the pocket piece would work pretty well. For this particular pocket piece, I'm going to put a few things on the attached directly to the pocket and then something behind, and then the pocket, the tag will slip right in between, if that makes sense. So that's something else fun you can do with pockets. See how it kind of hangs over the top of the pocket? Then the tag I'm using to write a note will still be underneath. So I will move this. This is popped up just a bit. Super cute. And then the tag, see, will slide right behind there. So it's pretty cute. I'm going to bring in some of Kelly Bang's florals for this tag and then also mat it on an extra piece of pink paper just to add in extra color. And on this tag, I'm again just writing some notes that I wanted to reflect on from the devotional. I wrote on this one, life isn't all about moving forward. Sometimes it's about loving right where you are. And that is a big lesson for me. I'm very much goal oriented, very much all about moving forward, seeing where God has you headed next. But I think sometimes God needs you to really plant and be where you are in that moment and not let some things pass you by. One thing I'm loving about this particular tag project is that it actually doesn't take very long. I think this, for me, goes faster than a typical Bible journal entry because I have a little bit of a formula to work with of what I'm doing with these tags. So we'll add the florals on the bottom, and then I kind of want to add something on the top. You'll see me add something in the end. That one wasn't working. So let's just cut this off right here so that it does in fact slide in, and then I'll pull out a lettering pen to add in a few notes. Now the last verse card or prescription card that I'm going to work on doesn't necessarily have a formula. It's just another opportunity to take note of a big takeaway. And I loved how in the devotional we focused on the phrase, but first God, which I wholeheartedly believe. I start my day with quiet time and that is what comes first. But then I definitely get distracted with the running around of the day. So the author of the devotional encourages us to not only think, but first God, but also Jesus always. And so that is the phrase I'm going to capture on this tag. I'm creating this little spinning wheel. This is kind of like looks like a little pie chart to me that is a little bit more abstract. So I'm attaching it to this backing. I'll put a little bit of foam right here so that this pops up pretty well. And then you'll be able to kind of spin the wheel around. So it is a fun interactive element, which I love. See how it spins? How fun is that? So I'm going to put that on the card, and then I'm going to take the phrase Jesus always and add it to where when you spin, it appears, and then you can spin and cover it up. So I love this. I think you could do this directly in your Bible as well because you're not punching the brad through the page. It's just spinning against another little disc. You just need some brads to kind of hold things together. But how cute did that turn out to be? I just love it. Once that is all set, I'm just going to add a few more little details here and there to some of the other cards, and then I'll end up putting them all back on my tag ring. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. Like I said before, I will link all of the supplies that I use down below. If I ever forget something, just let me know in the comments below and I will find that link for you. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for your support. It means the world to me. It helps this channel keep going and I definitely appreciate it. So I hope that all of you have an absolutely fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.